History and culture. Papyrus making. Paper from a plant. Once upon a time, in the heart of ancient Egypt, there was a bustling village where people lived and worked along the banks of the mighty Nile River. Our story takes place here, where the villagers had learned to harness the power of a unique plant called the papyrus. One sunny day, our protagonist, a curious and clever little boy named Amun, watched as his father worked on something mysterious. With wonder in his eyes, Amun approached him and asked, "Father, what are you doing?" His father smiled warmly and explained, "I am making papyrus, my dear boy. It is an ancient invention that allows us to write our thoughts and stories on a surface as flat and smooth as water." He demonstrated the process for Amun, who listened intently. That night, Amun couldn't sleep. He was so excited by the thought of being able to write his own thoughts and stories that he had never considered before. The next morning, he woke up early and ran to the marsh where they grew the papyrus plants. After practicing with his father for several days, Amun was ready to create his first sheet of papyrus. He gathered the bark from a mature plant and went through the process step by step, carefully layering it, pressing it flat, and waiting for it to dry in the sun. When Amun finally had his finished piece, he was overjoyed. He showed it off to his friends and neighbors, who were amazed by his newfound skill. They encouraged him to write a story on his papyrus sheet, so he spent hours thinking about what to put down. After much thought, Amun decided to write a tale about the great Nile River and the magical creatures that lived within it. He carefully wrote each word, his excitement growing as he filled his papyrus sheet with his own words and illustrations. When Amun had finished, he gathered all the villagers and shared his incredible creation. As he read his story aloud, they were enchanted by the magical world he had created on such a simple piece of papyrus. Inspired by Amun's tale, the other children in the village began making papyrus sheets of their own and writing their own stories to share with the community. They gathered every day to listen to each other's tales, learning from one another and growing closer as a group. The children's creativity flourished, and they began creating intricate and beautiful tales that captured the imagination of everyone who heard them. They worked together, helping each other perfect their craft and pushing one another to new heights. Years went by, and the villagers continued to create beautiful stories on their papyrus sheets. They became known throughout Egypt for their incredible tales and unique craft. One day, as they gathered to celebrate their shared love of papyrus and storytelling, Amun stood up and declared, "Let us continue to share our stories with the world." And so they did. For generations, the villagers continued to make papyrus and share their stories with one another, passing down their traditions and culture from parent to child. They became a beacon of creativity and innovation, inspiring others to embrace their own unique talents and passions. As they looked up at the stars in the sky, they knew that their stories would live on forever.